Yeah, hey everybody, this is Marty Mangello at the United States Presidential Service Center, coming to you from having served 6 presidents now. And Dr. David Evans is doing a fantastic job with the PIC TV network. Be sure to check out all the offerings on PIC TV. Go crazy, hit up about 10, 20, 30, 40 channels. The more support, the more watching, the more it grows, the better it does. And it is doing good, isn't it? It's a great thing that we all need more of in this world. Thank you so much, and don't forget, think PIC TV.
Hello, everybody. This is David Evans from Washington, D.C. I am so happy once again. We have the Legacy Show with Patty coming on from the Big Apple, New York. Hey, Patty.
Welcome back to the PIC TV Legacy Show. My name is Patty from New York, and I am your host here on the Legacy Show, where we tribute, also share a little bit about the inspiration of those we miss who have passed away and how they inspired us to live our legacy. And we welcome you. We're so excited. We are also sponsored here by Miss U Graham, and I am the CEO of Miss U Graham, as well as the business manager for the PIC TV network here in New York. So if you want to be on our show, definitely give me a ring. You could find me on my website. Go to pattynewyork.com, send me a message, and we'll get in touch. There's a link there. It says Legacy Show, and it's an intake form. So just fill out a little note, submit your information, and we'll get back to you as soon as possible. Otherwise, you could always just go to the pictvnetwork.com and find us there too. Dr. David, over to you.
I wanted to wake up the world, Patty. You were dancing on the other day when you were down in Chicago. I saw you dancing down there, Patty.
And I brought my tambourine right now. It's taking the rest upstairs, but I did bring my tambourine. Yes, I did. And I had really amazing Waymakers sign it, so I was very honored. And it might fade. I don't care. I know who signed it. That's what matters. It's in the inspiration. And it was a great, great event. Again, there was a lot of legacy going on because they talked a lot about Dr. Miles Monroe, who has, passed on, and he really made such a difference in so many lives, including Delano A. Johnson, who is going to be the next CEO. He is the successor for the PNC conference started by Fraser Nation. Dr. George Fraser started this conference 22 years ago. And next year will be the 23rd year, now being led by Delano A. Johnson, that we do a lot of work with as well, with Queen Monique Lisa, a famous playwright, acclaimed over 45 awards. We lost track, but nonetheless, it was a real honor to really go in lieu of legacy. And it's a full circle because here we are in the Legacy Show, and we were there too. And in fact, we found our next guest for next week. We had a spot open. And David, you want to comment on that?
Yeah. I'm Patty, you've done so many wonderful things. I got to give you a lot of love. The whole world loves Patty, and you have so many guests on here. We just played Marty, who's the chef for the White House, and just to have you back on in New York, beaming it in from there in the Legacy Show. You have so many great people to come on. First of all, I want to commend you. There's a trophy waiting for you right there, right over there. There's a trophy already for Black Friday for our.
Well, I did watch a lot of Barbara Walters growing up. What can I tell you? A lot of Oprah, a lot of Barbara Walters. We got a lot of the goats, the greats. I really love learning and being able to just sit one-on-one with just amazing, amazing humans that are just doing so much. Again, through legacy, like when you hear the stories, there's always a legacy base, and it's just such a beautiful thing to experience and, keep passing that torch, I just love that. And I love to hear the stories. I bask in it. Yeah, we did have amazing guests. Well, I can't name them all because, my brain starts to get traffic. So many greats. The last few that were here, of course, Speaker T, Prophet Shannon. We had Pamela McCormick. We had Simon O'Callaghan. I mean, we had Tiffany Thompson. We just had so many. We had Lakeisha Mosley. I mean, come on. So the list just goes on and on. I apologize for anybody that I didn't mention, but everybody was just so great. And now we have the one and only Crystal Gomez, a tech guru. She was having workshops at the PNC conference. She was a vendor, and she was actually helping me with some tech issues when I was trying to go live here from the PIC TV network when we were over there in Houston. And she is going to be our guest next week on the 15th, Tuesday live, coming in from Houston. And it's exciting because she was sharing how she just gave a big scholarship in lieu of her late grandfather, who was a dentist. So it was a DDS scholarship. Don't quote me on the amount, but she will be here next week to share. And we're going to talk about her grandfather, who inspired her to be an entrepreneur. And she said, I don't want to be a dentist, but I'm inspired to be an entrepreneur, and I want to pay it forward. And we were there. We learned, Dr. David, that you learn, you earn, and then you return. And it really, really resonates. And that's exactly what she was doing. So she's going to be our guest next week. I'm excited about that. And you got to interview her, Dr. David.
Yeah, it was amazing. I want to commend you, Patty, for being on the field in another state, and from New York all over to Houston, Texas, in the conference, and to go live and made everybody. And those of you, we're going to play a little bit of that clip for Patty was going live interviewing people from vendors to going into the main event to Delano to, I mean, it was so many things that you were doing last week to make it work. But I want to shift the conversation, Patty. We're getting ready to go into the holiday season. September, October, November, December. First of all, 9/11. You in New York, Patty. You see so many people still devastated. You know families. You've been down there, Manhattan, you know, and last time I was there, Patty, you still feel the presence when you go down there, Patty.
Yes, you do. And of course, the holidays are always a little tougher. And also, besides the emotional impact, we also have the physical impact, because New York in the winter is cold. You see a lot of homeless. You see a lot of mental health care, homeless. And there is a concern, and, it hurts my heart. And then you also see, when moving into what you're speaking on 9/11. Sorry, when we talk about the holidays, I can't help, and New York, you can't help to think about the homeless. But going back to the 9/11 memorial, I mean, that's something that, is very, very a big presence. Put it this way: you're about 30 miles away, and you see the World One. That's the address, and that's something that still stands out. Those towers still really much stick out, but now they have a completely different meaning. Now they're the Freedom Towers, and I'm glad they give the honor. The park is beautiful, but when you're coming into New York, whether you're Jersey crossing over or Connecticut, wherever, you get a glimpse of Manhattan, it's hard not to see it, not to notice it. It's like right up there with like the Statue of Liberty. You can't not see it. And that area, once you're in that downtown area, the financial district, again, it's that presence, it's that feeling, but also that honor. And I'm glad they did right by it. But it is a little solemn, especially in the holidays, because people go and they leave the flowers, and it's bittersweet. It's sweet that we remember them, because everybody wants to be remembered. That's our tagline. I mean, come on. But no, like I say, however, it's hard. It's hard.
And I want to commend you, Patty, and Michael, your husband, and your family for being strong, especially during times like these. Patty, speaking about the holidays, we're getting ready to go into the holiday season when kids and families get together. With Thanksgiving is around the corner, Christmas is around the corner. Let's talk about Project Smiles and PIC TV Network, because you are the
look who's talking. Stop it now. Stop it now. The man who's sitting there on a holiday evening giving toys away. And remember the little kid? You gave him a business card. That was so cute. it's really heartwarming. Project Smiles. It all started here on the Pick TV network live, Dr. David Evans, when we live gave, and it was like this wave because you gave, Michelle gave, or I forgot who it was first, doesn't matter. Then I gave, and then we had callers giving. Next thing you know, we have Project Smiles was birthed. And it was so beautiful because it all started with somebody who has, a great job. At the same time, when you're a single mom, it's just hard. Prices are up. She had a disabled son, and she couldn't get a Christmas tree because a Christmas tree is not a bare, necessity. Nonetheless, when it's a holiday and it's all over your face, you go to a store, it's a Christmas tree. You watch a show, it's a Christmas tree. Everything is a Christmas tree. So not to have a Christmas tree when you celebrate Christmas and you have a child, especially, that has challenges. I mean, it hurt my heart, and it was so uplifting when we started, just donating just for the fun, for the goodness. Of course we also do clothes, food, the necessities, but it was really heartwarming to give just because we want to just share and put a smile, hashtag Project Smiles, on a kid's face and a mom's face.
Yeah, it's a beautiful thing, Patty. And this is our time because I love your commercial that you put together. Michelle Cox is popping on. Hey!
The gang is back. The gang is back. Yay!
The award-winning #1, Michelle Cox. I am so happy. I got to go.
Oh, I'm so excited, Michelle. And Michelle, now I have two besties in Atlanta because now I'm friends with Bella Rigby. I don't know if you're familiar with Bella. Oh, so now my two besties are in Atlanta. I'm so excited. I'm looking forward to hugging your neck in Atlanta. We have to meet. We have to meet Atlanta because now that Michelle is,
both of you guys got trophies already. You already know they already got to give it to you for your TV shows. Michelle, how you doing in Atlanta? How's the weather? How you doing down there?
Oh, I cannot complain.
Wow.
I can't complain at all. The weather's good. We've had some storms, but it's like anything else. We do all the things that we need to do to make sure that we're okay.
Yeah, I love you so much and what you're doing down there. In your brand new show, the importance of reading is blowing up all over the world. I know you just had on so many great people coming on. And Patty, your show is on the Legacy Show. I feel like a papa, and you guys started all of those shows we did on here, paid off. We did all the Hello America, the food shortage, AI. We did so many shows, you guys, when we first started. And now you guys have your own show on our network, Pick TV Network. I am so happy. I'm so happy.
I'm just happy to see the gang back. I'm happy that Michelle joined us in the Legacy Show. I'm excited to meet you, and we do a live from Atlanta. I'm just looking forward to that day. And again, we thank everybody for tuning in, supporting the Pick TV network, supporting what we do. This is a family network. This is a safe space, and it's the People's Investment Channel. So, like Dr. David says, we're the control tower, right, Dr. David? Right, Michelle?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Michelle, I'm so happy. Let's talk a little bit about the importance of reading. And I know we don't have a lot of time because we have another show at 9:15. But talk about the great people you had on, Michelle, and how it is inspiring, motivating, encouraging people. I love it.
Well, number one, we know the importance of reading. We know the power of words. But our kids need to make sure they know the power of words. And that's one of the reasons I started the show, because 38 million children don't have books in their homes. So it's our duty to make sure that they know how great it is to read. Now, as far as having guests, we've had Moses West, we've had Gina Gadsden, we had Dr. Tonya Farmer, an ENT. Rhonda Weir, she's a lawyer. We just had doctor, has 6 degrees, Dr. Lane Rowling. So we're having so many good folks on, and we're having fun, because this is the big thing. Reading has to be fun. It has to be exciting. Don't forget, we had that interview with Jay Nolan. He's from XP Mentor. He used to play baseball. He threw his arm out, but he's gone on to do greater things. So we continue to have good people, great people come on, and just having a ball.
Yeah.
Now, Michelle, who inspired you legacy wise to continue this journey? Was there a writer in your family, or was there somebody that inspired you to become a writer? Tell me more. Tell me more.
Well, Patty and everybody at home, as you can see, I have my breast cancer scarf on. God gave me the gift to write, to help my mind heal from the trauma of having breast cancer. And that's when I started writing children's books. I thought one day I was going to write my little corny memoir, like everybody. And God made it a total different directions. And my first book was Mommy, Is a Computer Smarter Than Me? And then I wrote the other one, which is Mommy, What is an Entrepreneur? I've got a new one that we're going to be doing a major fundraiser for the hospital with, called Mommy, What's the Acetabulum? And then I've got a new one that I just published called Mommy, Our Virus is Smart, that features Dr. Lane Rowling. So we've got a lot of good books coming up, but the other part is we have authors, we have business people. Scott Harrell, he was on the program because we know each other
Yes,
from
I'm friends
Clubhouse.
with Scott. Yes.
And
Oh, that's great.
so and to know that he came through with his struggles, because he's dyslexic. And he didn't realize that until his sons were diagnosed, because usually that's genetic.
And
And
an
so for him
amazing
to tell
poet.
us,
Just say, and an amazing poet. Just say
an
it.
amazing
Just
poet.
say
And so for him to come on and tell us, hey, I remembered things, but I didn't read well. But I learned how to turn that around, and I know the joy of it. And I've also helped my sons that have struggled. So this was an amazing conversation. And if you don't get it back here on Pick TV Network, because I know we rebroadcast, but it's also on my YouTube channel, Michelle the Computer Lady on YouTube. So
Indeed, indeed. We'll have to check it out. You heard El, I want to say El Michelle because I'm friends with El Michelle too. We're all friends. You heard it, Michelle, the computer lady. Go to her YouTube channel, but it's also embedded in the Pick TV YouTube channel. Again, we also play reruns here on the Pick TV network on Roku, and it's a great ecosystem because these are shows that are bringing value to your home, to your family. And again, when we were at the PNC conference, we heard some crazy analytics of, oh yeah. It was great. It was great. We're going to say it wasn't really life changing. The numbers, like you just said, the stats of the amount of kids that do not know how to read, it's nuts. It's nuts. And there's no reason why it should be that way, because the only way you can learn to do things is through reading. I mean, just think of even directions on a box of mac and cheese. You need to learn how to write. You need to need to read, and important news information, applications, so many things. The list goes on and on. So I really vouch for you. I'm happy that you're doing this. This is a big deal, and I'm just excited. And I have some great authors that I think I'm going to lead right in your direction. I didn't realize you were having guests as well. I knew it was a reading show, but I didn't dive deep, and I didn't realize you were having guests. So I'm leading them your way so you could have more guests on that show. And again, I thank you for that. So getting back to your pink scarf. Not gonna let that one slide. Go ahead.
well, it represents my fight with breast cancer. And my sister friends from around the country have sent me pink scarves as well. So to commemorate that I've been battling breast cancer for the last 6-7 years now. I took my last pill about a year ago. They want me to come back and do some more. But right now, I just need my bones to heal because I need to have dental surgery, and I can't do it on the medication. So,
But you're proactive,
but
and that's what I love about you. You're proactive. You know, that's how we became besties on the world news. Being proactive, especially during we got through COVID together, Michelle. I mean, we're survivors. We're survivors. So we're survivor sisters. My grandmother also was a survivor of breast cancer. She passed away from an older age. She was 96, and she started having degeneration, and she failed. Her body just started failing due to old age and other maybe complications due to that. But she was a survivor because when she had breast cancer, she was like in her 60s, I believe, something like that. Maybe early 70s, and she lived till her mid 90s. So nonetheless, and one of my good friends unfortunately lost her battle. She found out too late, and I wear the pin all the time. And my brother-in-law is a survivor of breast cancer. Yes, you heard that. Yeah, a lot of people don't realize, right, Michelle?
that men can get breast cancer. Richard Roundtree was one of the first men to speak out about men getting breast cancer and making them aware that they also need to check.
That's right.
And please know that there's over 40 different types of breast cancer. And
I
breast
did not
cancer can
realize it was that
attack,
many.
absolutely, and can attack other parts of the body besides the breast. That's why we have to make sure that we're aware. But Pat, my sister Patty from New York, you know what time it is, right?
Yes, I do. We'll be right back, and we're going to a commercial break. And again, we thank you for watching and supporting the PIC TV network. We're here on the Legacy Show today. We're just shooting the breeze just to get everybody, friendly and welcomed to the show and the PIC TV network. Dr. David, take it away.
Everybody, I got some brand new people, brand new PIC TV Network fans. Where y'all from?
South Carolina.
South Carolina.
Washington, D.C.
Hey, what's the TV network y'all down with?
PIC TV Network.
Oh, I gotta love the Big TV network. I love the commercials here. And we welcome you back to the Legacy Show. And tonight we're just, shooting the breeze, getting friendly with our viewers and letting you know what we're doing here on the Big TV network. We have our business team. We have Michelle Cox from Atlanta, and she has her reading show. We got Dr. David, who is the president and CEO of the PIC TV network. And again, we also do the work. So many other things here. But today I do want to pay a tribute to all those who did lose their life to cancer, especially breast cancer, as we're talking about it tonight, but all cancer. And we support all causes. But tonight we want to do a special tribute to those who lost their battle with cancer. And also I want to highlight Black history, anybody who was a waymaker in history and has passed on, like, let's say, Dr. Martin Luther King. I love him so much. I can't help it. Anytime I see anything about him, I cry a little bit because he's so emotional. But again, I just came back from the PNC network and talking about the Legacy Museum for Economics, Black Business. I can't help to think of a waymaker like Martin Luther King Jr. So with that being said, Michelle, back to you.
Well, and for the people out there, because we talk about the importance and power of reading, Dr. King authored over 5 different books. One of them is called Strength to Love. The other one is community or chaos? Where do we go from here? And so there's a lot of good reading behind Dr. King, and that's what we have to remember. More than just I have a dream, but how he impacted the communities and some of the things that he wrote, because they're also his letters from the Birmingham jail.
Oh,
So
in the books.
yes,
Oh, I did not realize that. Wow. See,
and
always
so
learning something new.
you can go to Dr. Martin Luther King online. His daughter, Dr. Bernice King, runs the foundation. And if you come to Atlanta, you can go there and buy books directly from the bookstore.
Ooh, okay. Now it's on my list of things to do. I do sell the Martin Luther King mug on my website with, the company mug with our slogan. Everybody wants to be remembered. And again, any purchases go towards the build and expansion of our app that's launching 26th version. But again, I love Martin Luther King. I mean, where would we be today without him? I know we still have a long way to go, but we've come a long way because of his amazing grace and mercy and generosity for the love of mankind and justice for all.
Yes, he did do that. And if you think about it, he won the Nobel Prize. He took all of the winnings from the Nobel Prize and put it into the civil rights movement. So he kept none of that money. So not
Wow.
only was he doing really good things, but he really stood upon his principles and his words of making sure that people were free. Not just black people, people are free. Because you got to remember, when we talk about segregation, racism, if black people aren't free, poor white and other people are also not free. The women's movement got a lot of its jump off from black women. So when we talk about those things, they are all very interconnected with one another. And we have to make sure that we know these things because words have power, reading has power, and the more you know, the more you grow. Patty, back to
Mm.
you.
That is so true. And that's what really was so inspirational, finding out that there's going to be the 111th Black History Museum, but the first one on Black economics. Why is it out of 111, it's the only one with Black economics? Because it was, you want to talk about history, but you don't want to talk about, the economics part. The economics should be a part of it. It's like, what the black man was allowed to do, what the black man wasn't allowed to do. If they had the red line for real estate, that's part of economics. What are you talking about? So I'm so happy to know that that's coming to fruition, and it's such a big deal. And again, it all started. The catalyst was Dr. Martin Luther King, and it's just really, I feel honored to be able to just keep his legacy alive. It's for me, it's an honor. So I don't know what you want to say about that.
Well, it actually started before Dr. King because there's a reverend called Vernon Johns. He started this before King did. And then you have to think about there were black towns before King that were successful, that were wealthy, but that were burned to the ground. Because even in de facto Jim Crow slavery, we had towns that were doing very well. Now the question is, okay, you see that we have black towns that are doing very well, but when they don't want black people to do very well, it's because not just because they're black, but they're also keeping wages stagnant. Because if you keep me down, then you're able to keep white people down, Irish people down, Jewish people down by keeping lower wages. It affects everybody. It doesn't just affect us. And that's what people have to realize. The realization is anytime any marginalized group is held back, it affects us all. You're Latina, part of that culture. You think about it. You've got the governor of Florida talking about, hey, we're going to punish people, not because they did anything wrong, just because, oh, they came here illegally. Well, look at the governor. His parents came here illegally. His parents were immigrants. His
Yeah,
grandpa.
how do you justify that?
It's not about justification. It's about you remember his saying, where woke goes to die. When you're not
Mm,
conscious of how the world works, or you don't want to be conscious, you're willfully ignorant.
mm-hmm.
This is what you askew to, because they don't even people don't even realize they're hurting themselves when we don't
Like a can't be
help each
bothered
other.
syndrome. Like a can't be bothered syndrome. I can't be bothered. I'll just deal with it because I can't be bothered. Can't be bothered
Absolutely.
to talk about it. Can't be bothered to do something about it. Can't be bothered to say no about it. Can't be bothered syndrome.
Well, and that happens until what? Until they start coming for you.
Mm,
Until they start affecting you.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Until you
And
start
that's the
losing your
biggest problem.
house. Until you start losing your town. So you start losing your hospitals. So you start losing your schools. It's a chain reaction, like you said. It's time to bring light to it, and that's what we do here on the Pick TV network. So thank you for sharing your intel. I love it, and there's always room to learn. I love when the gang's back. This is the OG over here for the Pick TV network.
And I know we have another show, and you guys are more than welcome. You're my angels. You guys have built Pick TV network. It wouldn't be a hell of a market without you doing over 100 shows in our first year. And now you guys have your own show every
Great,
Wednesday.
guys.
Every Wednesday, folks. The Michelle Cox from Atlanta, Georgia, Importance of Reading. You can catch her tomorrow, every Wednesday, 7 p.m. She always have great speakers on. And you can catch her also, all the repeats. You have her on the YouTube page, 24 hours, 7 days a week. Patty, The Legacy Show, every Tuesday, 7 p.m. You can't miss it. We already have our other person in our next studio waiting to come on. He loves Aretha Franklin, so I'm gonna have to cue this up a little bit, y'all. We'll pick it up on the next show in the next 2 minutes. And I always invite Michelle Cox and all of you around the world. Patty, I love you guys. We'll be back on again. This is amazing, y'all. These are my 2 award-winning shows right here. They got big old trophies waiting for them. They already got trophies waiting for them. And it's not even October yet. It's not even November yet. The show of the year. I love you guys. We got to go. And we'll see you guys later. Thank you, America, for watching with Patty and Michelle Cox. We'll see you next time on You Know What, the Pick TV Network.
Count on me. Don't be worried. Cast all your troubles away. Wherever you're going, just know that I'll be there. Count on me, put on your smile. No need to frown, 'cause I'm here. Just look to me, and it will be alright.
Bringing the one and only Super Bowl #1 champion.